Let's get into the Arizona Cardinals here. Their schedule, I mean, this NFC, the NFC West, they have a lot of tough opponents. Kansas City here on the Arizona Cardinals schedule, week one. Like, between the Rams and the Cardinals, week one is no cakewalk at all with Buffalo and Kansas City. At least they're at home for those games, the Rams and the Cardinals. The Cardinals schedule does look like this, including the 4 primetime games and that Christmas night game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another tough schedule for an NFC West team. AJ, what's your storyline heading into the Arizona Cardinals 2022 season?
I think the storyline is the one that most people would look towards, and that's how competitive will they be the first 6 weeks without DeAndre Hopkins. We talk about D-Hop being one of the favorite receivers for really any quarterback, and that remains to be true. What he does with Kyler Murray is something fun to watch. It can be productive at times, but when you really sit back and look at it, the offense that they have created in Arizona should allow them to still be quite productive in that first 6 weeks. I apologize. Kyler Murray without DeAndre Hopkins has 4,727 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. But we can talk about interceptions for something else. When you look at last year, the first 6 games, D-Hop had 38 targets. That's a little bit more than 6 targets a game. That means they're really spreading the offense out. You go back to the Houston days, if D-Hop wasn't getting 8, 9, 10 targets a game, something was wrong. So I do actually believe that they have the chance to go 4-2 in those first 6 games. When you look at it, that is a very hard first game. The Raiders, I think, is going to be a toss-up. But then you get to go kind of a little bit easier from week 4 to 6. So without DeAndre Hopkins, I think they have a chance. If they get to their football and they're playing the correct way, they can start as hot and fast as they did last season. By the time DeAndre Hopkins gets back, they should be a pretty well-oiled machine into their bye, and then we'll see what happens because that seems to be when they crumble.
Yeah, which leads me right into my storyline. It's not about the beginning of the season for the Arizona Cardinals. It's all about the end, right? We talked about it for I don't know how many times last year. Each week it seemed like we were bringing up, oh no, is this an Arizona collapse? I think, again, just projecting, looking ahead, you might run into the same situation you had the last couple of years. Their schedule down the end of the stretch is tough. They got the Chargers, Denver on the road, Tampa Bay, San Francisco on the road, teams that they're going to have trouble beating. I think that's the biggest storyline here. Can Kliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray get over that hump of not collapsing down the stretch? And they've already lost pieces, right? Christian Kirk, gone. I know they added a Marquise Brown. They bring back an A.J. Green. But did they do enough on the defensive side of the football after losing a Chandler Jones? Is J.J. Watt going to come back healthy enough and still young enough to make an impact like we've seen him make over the course of his career? How good is that secondary? We know Dylan's guy, Jeff Gladney, is there. But, again, we're unsure about how that fit. Is he going to break out? What kind of situation is going to look like on the defensive side of the football? But I think the most important factor is, do we find another stretch where Arizona's a 10-3 team, a 9-4 team, or whatever it is, and then you go and lose 4 straight games to end your season?
So that I feel like is the key for Arizona. The past 2 seasons, it's been that same exact setup. Dylan, I'm a little confused here, buddy, and this is why I wanted to bring it all back to the group here, because your storyline for this reads: drop the drama, play football. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, as you said, a storyline, right? If I were to be writing for the Arizona Daily Sun, my storyline would read
the Arizona Daily Sun.
Can we confirm that is the actual newspaper in Arizona? Can we confirm that?
Arizona Daily Sun. There is an Arizona Daily Sun.
Well done, Dylan.
Bravo.
Well, if I was writing for the Arizona Daily Sun, my headline would say, drop the drama, play football. And what I'm saying is, everybody was talking about a little while ago about the Kyler Murray rumors and how everything was going on there. There was a lot of bad PR around the Arizona Cardinals, right? Drama surrounding Kyler Murray. That's all good. It's all figured out now. DeAndre Hopkins gets the 6-game ban, more drama there. More things going around this organization when it comes to that. And then, of course, you got to worry about on-field stuff, J.J. Watt, his health. All those things are considerations. So when it comes to that, eliminate the stress that you got enough on-field problems. Aaron mentions their ability to collapse. They don't look good late in the season. You got enough on-field problems you got to figure out. Don't worry about this drama with Kyler Murray or any egos or people deleting pictures or putting houses up for sale. Who cares? Who cares? Just go out there and play football the way you should, and that's the way you got to do it. So go play football, go win yourself some division games, and go help your football team. That's what they got to do. Drop the drama, play football.
Who cares? Well, they have to care. The drama's coming from their starting franchise quarterback. If you say who cares, well, obviously he cares, because if he's not there, we know they're not going to win. I don't think it's a matter of saying who cares. I get your point saying drop the drama, let's just focus on football. But they can't do that if Kyler Murray's not focused on football. I do believe they're past that drama of Kyler Murray wanting out or, contract talk and all those things. But the fact of the matter is they don't really get to just walk away from DeAndre Hopkins not being on the football field. He is going to miss 6 games. If they don't get off to a good start, and we know how they finished over the past couple of seasons, where does that leave them? It leaves them sitting and looking at 7, 8, 9 wins, and probably not enough to get in the playoffs.
I think that there was a report yesterday about Kyler Murray from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN saying he won't be, quote, he won't be too eager to play this season without a new deal from the Cardinals. So I don't know if this drama is stopping anytime soon.
I don't. But does anybody really believe that they're not going to get a deal done?
I don't. See, this is what I was telling people. And I don't mean to continue to be that Jaguars fan here to connect things to the Jaguars, but I was telling a Jaguars fan the other day, and you guys taught me about this, that the media is just like, we have to have these stories. These stories have to be in our media. We have, that's our job, to be able to keep putting out content, whether it be 100% factual or not. It's our job to make stories. So I referenced to the Byron Leftwich to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars were not reporting that they wanted Leftwich. The media was, and fans got around it, and then that's what happened. Similar with the Kyler Murray thing, the media is bringing up all of this stuff about Kyler Murray and not being happy, or what Jeremy Fowler just said, not being too eager to play without a contract. It might not even be that serious. You can't look so deeply into that. All he said is it might not be too. Would you be eager to play without a contract? I mean, it's an obvious statement, but it's not necessarily saying that they're far apart in contract talks. You have to look at the Hollywood Brown acquisition, I think, to show. And I know you don't like me bringing up the connection between college quarterback and college wide receiver, but the Arizona Cardinals, to go out and acquire a Hollywood Brown, it cost a pretty penny. Some may say a little bit too much. But they went out and got him because they know that A, he's a good player, and B, that relationship with Kyler Murray. So Arizona, I think, will do anything that they possibly can to re-sign their franchise quarterback. And I think where the media makes us dive into it a little too deeply at times.
Well, there were breadcrumbs too, though. There was a conversation about there being an extension offer on the table. There was the manifesto, if you will, that got leaked and signed by the agent and Kyler Murray about offering the extension and wanting to be there, wanting to play, having the best interest of the team, and then himself in mind. And then, of course, the last breadcrumb to fall is if they are worried about getting him a deal, the very least they could do is go out and get him one of the guys that he cherished when he was in college. So there's things there that lead people to believe possibly that's not as close as we want. But at the same time, I don't think Kyler Murray did anything out of the realm of normalcy when it comes to letting your team know you want a contract extension. It's just viewed differently because he's the quarterback. He's supposed to be the leader. So when you delete pictures and take them off of your IG or whatever, it's viewed a different way than when a cornerback or Deebo Samuel does it.
But that's what I mean. We've seen this already this offseason. Seen it with Deebo Samuel. We've seen it with AJ Brown. Hollywood Brown was traded out of nowhere. AJ Brown was traded before Deebo Samuel, and we had no inclination that AJ Brown was going to get traded after the initial rumor was gone. The stories are about timing. It's about when these stories are put out. It's not that somebody's manifesting this, making stuff up. It's that the way we report a headline, the way we submit these stories, and the time we put them out. When there's nothing going on, and then you release a headline that says, he's not eager to stay in Arizona if he doesn't have a new contract extension. Yeah. Okay, that's obvious, but it stirs up the conversation again. They never let it get stale, so it goes away. okay, nobody's talking about Kyler anymore. Let's bring it back up. So we have that conversation continuing to go throughout the offseason, because that's what they're paid to do. They're paid to get clicks, paid to get people talking about it. But again, it doesn't mean it's false. It just means I don't think it's an alarming situation when we're talking about May, whatever, 19th, 20th, versus if it's July 28th and they're getting ready to go to training camp. Now we're talking about a different story.
Exactly. It's just the media doing their job. Let's take a look at the rest of the NFC West standings for the Arizona Cardinals. 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, another 8-9. I mean, that's a tough look for the Arizona Cardinals, in my opinion, to go 500 or below 500 for this upcoming season. Now, I will ask Aaron. I got to ask you this question because you have them at 8-9, and even for you, AJ, at 9-8. Is Kliff Kingsbury gone if they go 9-8 or 8-9, or is that but hot seat though, right?
Nope.
Conversations.
No. Okay.
Not even to leave, but like there's going to be talk around it, and you'll be hearing that murmur. The media will do its job, but I think there will be a microscope. I don't think it's like, hey, you have this season or we're going somewhere else. They're too close in ways, and we talk about them crumbling. But we talk about this team for the last 3 years. We've seen what they can do. They just don't.
Just signed him to an extension. He's signed through 2027. He's not going anywhere. He is signed through 2027. He is not going anywhere. He is tied to Kyler Murray. It's another reason why Kyler's not going anywhere, because him and Kyler are like tied together. They will get Kyler Murray signed. Kliff Kingsbury is not going anywhere for at least 2 to 3 years. They trust that system. They believe in. They have a good relationship with Keim and them, and like. It's so hard to win. It just the talk, like you said, the media is going to do their job, say he should be on the hot seat because they don't win every year or whatever it is. But let's not forget where the Cardinals came from. Okay, this was a 3-14 or 3-13 football team. They've gotten better each year, including last year. We'll see what happens this year. The old cliche I know you guys love so much. But the fact of the matter is if they don't win this year, it's not going to change his outcome.
Okay.
How bad would they have to be for that to be a conversation, though?
This year, I think they'd have to be bad 2 years in a row, like real bad. Like if they went 4-13 this year, and then next year they follow that up and they start off, 2-8 or something like that, then I think you start to see that conversation shift. But they obviously felt comfortable enough with the progress he made to sign him to an extension this offseason. He's going to at least get this year and next year to see what he's capable of.
Arizona Cardinals fans in the chat watching this, let us know if you think Kliff Kingsbury should be on the hot seat if he comes out with an 8-9 season or a 9-8 season.